Please be advised, this show of Womanosity for Women with Curiosity is not suitable for children. Welcome, everyone, to Womanosity for Women with Curiosity. I'm Tadia Rice, your guide on this virtual journey, and I value each and every one of you, my listeners, more than you will ever know. Thank you for being with me on Woman Radio. I'm so happy to have you with me today. It's a great day, and you make it even better, whether it's day or night. And we need these good days and nights because these days have been very challenging all around the world. In the US, we have mass shootings at malls, grocery stores, and churches. These have rocked the very fiber of the country. In South Africa, xenophobia continues with killings of innocent foreigners. Elections in Brazil and the Philippines have upended long-held traditions. And in Eastern Europe, lives are being mercilessly lost in Ukraine due to Russia's needless war. Many worry that Russia's president has put the country's nuclear forces on high alert. I sure do. This war is in real time. This is a televised war, allowing all of us in the world to witness the stories of brave Ukrainians who have either fled to protect themselves or their children or their elders, or remained to fight another day. The United States and its allies have issued economic sanctions against Russia, and the European Union said it will ban all Russian aircraft flights and will finance the donation for weapons to the Ukraine. Well, my guests today say that Ukraine needs more than that. It needs military support, and they would know. Elena Roud Anna Baryshnykova, whose husband is currently in the military at Odessa Terra Barona, is fighting for his life and the lives of all Ukrainians. Elena and Anna are here with me in the studio today, and I'm so very, very privileged to have them here. Now, Elena Roud is a Ukrainian American, and she has galvanized so many in the United States, especially women, to speak out loud and proud that this war is pointless, that this invasion is immoral. Elena is the co-founder of the awareness group Hawaii Stands with Ukraine. She has rallied so many anti-war demonstrations, and she's spoken about Ukraine on the news. She has been relentless in her defense of her nation and innocent comrades there. Anna Baryshnykova is a refugee from Ukraine who has now found safety and refuge in Hawaii with her son. But Anna's husband, Alex, remains in Ukraine fighting for freedom. And we're going to talk about these very things. Welcome to Woman Radio and Womanosity for Women with Curiosity. I am thrilled to have you with me today, Elena and Anna. Lascavo prosimo, Elena and Anna.
Thank you so much, Taida, for joining us today or for inviting us for this marvelous show. And thank you very much for this initiative to let us say about what's happening in Ukraine now, to let us speak to the world and say what is really happening. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Elena, what are your thoughts?
I am very privileged to have this opportunity to speak to women around the world, and we very strong creatures. Women are very strong creatures. They always put in the position to make decision and be in power for their own future, because just God gave us this opportunity to have the future in our hand for the well-being of our kids and our grandkids. And I just recently became a grandma, so I'm very, yes, I see the world through totally different eyes. We just celebrated 1 year for my granddaughter, and I really truly hold passion about the kids to have the opportunity to live in a better world. And obviously I'm very disappointed with what we are witnessing right now.
Well, before we get into the war in Ukraine, I just want my
Sure.
listeners to know that you, Elena, have been in the United States for about 30 years. You made the Hawaiian Islands your home in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. You are a very successful realtor, an estate agent, as it's called in Europe and Africa, and you're a member of the Seniors Real Estate Specialist Council. You speak English, Ukrainian, and Russian, and that allows you to communicate with other Eastern Europeans. Now, Anna, you are a lawyer in Ukraine. You are a mediator. You train other lawyers how to be mediators. And on top of that, you are also a psychologist. So, folks, for those who don't understand the power of women in the Ukraine, you only have to look at these two, to Elena and Anna, and see how they became successful women and how they are now caught in this war that is affecting them indirectly and very directly. Now, Elena, as a professional businesswoman, you've taken on the leadership to speak out against Russia's war in Ukraine. So Vladimir Putin has unleashed the biggest war in Europe since World War II, claiming that modern, Western-leaning Ukraine was a constant threat to Russia. The world has not seen any evidence to this claim, but this is not the first time that Russia has tried to take Ukraine. Can either of you, Elena or Anna, give us a little history about Ukraine and Russia? What happened in Donbass in 2014? And are the Russian and Ukrainian people the same culturally?
In my family, and my family live in Dnipro, all together in one city. We all always spoke only Russian language. And as many times I visited Ukraine, there was never punishment for me coming as a foreigner and speaking Russian language. There was never any issues with that. Even though for the past 20 years, definitely Ukrainian language and Ukrainian culture was very well respected inside Ukraine and our country. Russia always put this propaganda that for some reason, all this Nazi behavior of Ukrainian government is, putting Russian-speaking generation and Russian-speaking people at risk, which is absolutely not true. And that's absolutely the fact. My kids, they always find such a big pleasure talking and coming back to Ukraine. So both my girls from Hawaii, they would visit Ukraine and always find it extremely pleasant place to be and called home. I just want to say that as living in Hawaii for so many years, and Hawaii is like a multipod for all different cultures, I could witness what it means truly to live in democracy and see all these different cultures get along very well. And when the war started, the first people who show up, it was multicultural people that show up on our rally, and that's very important. We saw people of Korean, Lithuanian, Polish people, so European countries and local Filipinos come, and everybody supported. That was a big eye-opener, how people sincerely felt the pain of Ukrainian small local community, and we are very small local community, but we felt very thankful for the people to just show up and open our arm and basically spend all this devastating few first months with us on those rally. I think that is very important. We witnessed a lot of lies that we had to overcome in our head, first of all, just not to believe that this kind of propaganda and lies are even possible. And but feel very thankful right now for the American to come and to support us with all these weapons that are very truly needed in Ukraine.
Thank you, Elena, for explaining that. Anna, I'd like to pivot over to you now. I wanted to ask you if there was any single event that took place while you were still in Ukraine only weeks ago that made you take action and decide to leave.
Yes, actually, if we're speaking about my action to leave Ukraine, it was every day it was bombing the whole Ukraine. It was a full-scale invasion. So he started, Putin, he started the war 5 o'clock in the morning by bombing and missiling 10 different cities, the biggest cities in Ukraine at the same time, 5 o'clock in the morning. So we woke up because of the very loud, noise of explosions. And it was from the seaside because I live in Odessa. It's a seaside, it's on the Black Sea. So it was really very scary. And it was a lot of crazy anxiety because you just can't understand what's happening. Like you never experienced this before in your life. And they start bombing our city as well. But actually, for the first week, I stayed in Ukraine. I didn't want to leave my husband. And I was thinking, hopefully everything will be okay. And it's just, to make us, Ukrainians, feel scared, and that's it. And they will not bomb, our buildings where people live. So just for like military structure. But when they start bombing civilians, they start killing, raping people 2 hours away from my city, and everything what starts happening, like bombing Dnipro, where Elena's parents live, to bomb Lviv. It's like the part of Ukraine that is on the border with Poland. Even this part of Ukraine, I really very scared. And my son, he was trying to get out from Ukraine with his dad. And my husband was very, very, sure in the thing, I have to leave Ukraine to be in a safe place, because he was worrying about me. Russian soldiers behaving like barbarians. They are raping kids, they are raping women, men, they are killing civilians. So everything what they're doing, it's just, you just can't put in your head. It's impossible. Like you can't realize it's happening now in 2022 in the center of Europe. So my husband just wanted to save me, to save my, nervous system, not to go mad, go crazy about everything what's happening. So he just asked me to leave the country. And he told me to go to my sister because she lives here in Hawaii. So that's why I'm here now with my son.
Well, welcome very much, Ekomomai, to the islands. I think that one thing about Hawaii is it is so welcoming and has been very happy.
Yes, they are.
Accept refugees from anywhere, really. And now with Ukraine, how many of us even said the word Ukraine 2 years ago? None of us. I didn't think about Ukraine. Who did, other than people in Ukraine or people who knew Ukrainians? So now Ukraine stands as this victim of Russia, who is now accused by the international community of carrying out war crimes. You mentioned a few. The US and Canada have called it genocide, and I agree with that. Thousands of people have died. Towns and cities like yours and Mariupol, they lie in ruins. 13 million people have been displaced. And the question remains, what was this all for? And how will it end? Anna?
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Like, what is the sense of all that? What do you need? What do you want? And, saying that we are narcissists, really? Like you, Putin, Russian soldiers, you came to my cities, you came to my country, you killing my people, and you saying that we should be erased from the, face of the earth because of what? And you telling me I'm a narcissist? It's not me who came to your country, killing your people, raping your kids. It's not me, it's you who are doing that. And you're telling me I'm a narcissist. Where is the logic? Like, just go to the vocabulary and take a look what narcissist is when you're just genociding another nation.
It's very true. It makes no sense to say that Ukraine is full of Nazis when it's pro-democracy and has demonstrated this over time. And, people, the Russians, of course, are denying that they're doing anything. They say that it's not true that they've raped women and shot children and killed people in apartment buildings sleeping. But you know better. You've witnessed this, haven't you?
Yes, exactly. Especially I have a friend who is also a psychologist, and you know what? She doesn't know what to do with a teenage girl in front of her was killed. Her parents were killed, and she was raped for 5 days, 5 Russian soldiers. And she's trying to find the psychotherapy for this girl. That's the real example of what's happening there now. And what I wanted to tell you, Ukraine, 30 years of independence of Ukraine. Ukraine never fight with any other country, never, ever. Look at Russia. It's Georgia, Abkhazia, and Ossetia. Chechnya, now it's Ukraine, it's Syria, like so many countries that Russia invades and Russia are fighting, against. What for? What is the reason? Like we live in 2022 now, just people enjoy your life, be happy, help each other, like make kids, make love, not war. What's happening with you? Come on.
I think so many people have questioned what is Putin's motive. Some think that it's religion, that he's on this religious quest. Some think that he's just a megalomaniac and just wants to take over other countries and just a power grab. Others think it has to do with the assets that Ukraine possesses, the people, the technology, the modernness of Ukraine. And I don't think anybody, he doesn't seem to be wanting to say really what the reason is. So we're all playing a bit of a guessing game. Elena.
But unfortunately, he was the one who want to bring all the Soviet Union concept together. His totalitarianism, that's the basic reason. It's hard to grasp, but that's what it is. If people will just take that as his only reason.
Yeah, totalitarianism. No, I think
exactly. That's as sad as it may sound.
Yes, it is awful. He just won't say it. So, Elena, what do you think that people around the world, me and my listeners, what can we do to help Ukrainians?
What right now I feel like very much what Anna was saying, that people who've been emotionally, it's like after trauma effect. Imagine like here, just watching from far distance and knowing that your family, my parents in Ukraine and all our friends, like everybody, like in one city under such a huge attack, and you feel distress. Imagine what people feel when they are literally misplaced and if their family and loved ones been killed over there. So people will have a huge trauma. If everything just stops right now, there is such a huge trauma. People need help to deal with that. Yes. I think. Yes. Besides the economical support and besides the fact that we need right now to push back and big strong military weapon, which is hopefully it will get there through the summer. It will take way longer than anybody thought like 1 month ago.
So aside from people who can give money to organizations that are helping with food and clothing and helping people get out of Ukraine, which has been that's a whole nother trauma. It's one thing to be bombed and at war, and another to not be able to leave and not be able to find safety. It's awful. So what is just one thing that I can do as an individual if I meet a Ukrainian?
May I say, as a refugee, that now I have so much support from people all over Hawaii now. Even I moved to a new house now. Actually, the cameraman who was making an interview of myself, and he proposed to stay in his house for like a few months for free. And there is a neighbor who I haven't even met. She sent with him to me like a small postcard with a cat and with a very warm words of aloha, like you are very welcome to our district, very welcome to Hawaii. And she sent us some money. She's like 82 years old lady, and she was trying to support us as much as she can. Even just a letter with warm words like, hey, I'm with you. We are praying for your nation. We're praying for you. We're praying for your family, for your country, and just helping as much as you can. Hold the person, just hold the hand, talk to the person, hug, give a hug. And that's really means a lot now, because the world of every Ukrainians now are absolutely ruined. Like, we don't know, will it be possible to come back to Ukraine? People who stayed in Ukraine, they don't know. Will it be possible, to stay alive in such conditions? And everybody's world just ruined. Absolutely.
Yeah.
fall apart. So now every support is very, very important. And actually, we also have our volunteers, list. If somebody wants to donate something, this money will go directly to people who stayed in Ukraine, to volunteers that we trust, the trusted volunteers. So the money that we are fundraising here in Hawaii, we're doing it every Sunday. We have in Ala Moana Park, Magic Island, fundraising event. So all the money we're collecting, we're sending directly to Ukraine.
That's a very good point to be made. So everybody around the world, if you can connect with a Ukrainian organization that has a way who can safely and securely take the funds you're willing to donate and get it back to Ukraine, or for the refugees in your community that have been displaced, you can help them with clothing. They've lost their homes, they've lost their apartment, they've lost everything.
Even the cup of tea, or I don't know, I was asking about plates because I didn't have enough plates here, like it was like a plastic plates, and I asked my friend to give me plates and cups, and she brought it to me, and it was perfect, it was great. Even just if you can't give anything, just please hug a hand, just say warm words of support, and that's going to be even enough. So everything we can do is just open our hearts for people who are struggling and suffering because of the Russian invasion. So everything you can do, it's even to say something, something nice.
Yes, kindness goes a long way, doesn't it? Thank you for that great reminder, Anna. Oh my goodness, there's just so much to talk about with these two remarkable women, Elena Roud and Anna Baryshnykova, current refugee living in the United States, taking refuge while they have both left family in Ukraine and people fighting on their behalf. We'll be right back, folks. Don't go away. There's so much more on Womanosity for Women with Curiosity. I'm Tadia Rice. We'll be right back.
Hello, hi, muraho, mwaramutse, mumeze mute. My name is Hope Azeda. I'm an artist from Kigali, Rwanda. You are listening to Woman Radio. I am listening to. Welcome, murakaza neza.
This is Almaz Crow in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, listening to Woman Radio for great interviews and wonderful music. It's important that people come together, and Woman Radio does that, especially for women. Women, let's unite. We gotta take over this world. While I listen to Woman Radio, and I hope you do too.
Moshavi, my name is Kerishi Tendero from Namibia, and you are listening to Womana Radio for well-organized men. I'm listening to.
Hi, I'm Disero Mamabulo from Light of Africa, South Africa in Pretoria. I listen to Women Radio when I want to learn new things or hear new music. The shows are always stimulating, from on the couch to womanicity. There is always something interesting or inspirational. I'm glad you are listening too.
Welcome back, everyone. I am with two amazing women today, Elena Roud, who lives in Hawaii, and Anna Baryshnykova, who lives or lived in Ukraine and is now a refugee. And they are both in the studio with me today, and we are talking about the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the history, why it's happened. No one knows what's going to happen yet. The world is watching. This is a televised war, and we are learning about the people who are most affected by it. Anna, can you tell me about some of your friends, your loved ones who, like you, might also be displaced from their homes, but are still in Ukraine?
Yes, sure. I have a lot of friends who stay there, who cannot leave the country because of, for example, they don't know where to go. They don't have anything abroad. They don't have any relatives, any friends abroad, and they're just afraid to go with the little children, like 2, 3, 4 years old, to go, to leave their homes and to stay in some unexpected reality. Then I have friends who've been running away from the war in 2014 from Donetsk area. And for example, she and her daughter, lived in Kiev the last 8 years, and now she just had to run away from Kiev the second time from the war. I mean, and she's like saying, Russia is trying to catch me. Like I was trying to run away from Donetsk when Russia was invading Donetsk and Lugansk area, and when Russia annexed Crimea. And now I'm living in Kiev. I don't feel safe because they start bombing my city, my second city now. They're bombing Kiev. So she just had to run away from Kiev the second time already. And a lot of people like this, many people in 2014, they moved from these parts of Ukraine, Donetsk and Lugansk area that was invaded by Russian soldiers, but by the Russian army. And there was bombing by Russians, not by Ukrainian. Russia is saying that it's Ukrainian forces who are bombing, these territories, but that's not true. Our soldiers are never bombing our citizens. They always protect us. I have a man who came here from Mariupol, and what he's saying, I have 2 grandsons. One lives in Ukraine, another one in Russia. And what he's saying, when I ask him, the one who lives in Russia, who are you gonna become? He's like 5 years old guy. And I would like to be a military. Why? Because military is very strong. And what are you going to do as a military? I'm gonna go and fight. And when he asked Ukrainian guy, who is also like 5, 6 years old and lives in Ukraine, like, who are you gonna become? I wanna become a military. Why? Because militaries are strong. And what are you going to do as a military? I'm going to defend my country. That's the difference. Our militaries, we have a different, values. Our militaries, they're defending, they're not fighting our people. And Russian soldiers are killing civilians. The snipers are trying to study how to shoot people. And they telling our kids, like, please go try to run away from me. If you run away, you're gonna survive. And they're just shooting them in the head, in the back. 10 kids, and just telling them, okay, try to run away. The crazy thing, I can tell you a lot of crazy things like this, but I just don't want, to go very deep in this very traumatized information and experience. So many people stayed in Ukraine because they just can't leave. Also, another reason is old parents. My friends, they doesn't want to leave parents alone. They don't want to leave them in a country which is under Russian aggression and under invasion. So they just stay with them.
Wow, thank you for explaining, because we're not there, and we see images on TV, but we don't really feel the pain that you have witnessed. Elena, you are a Ukrainian who has lived outside of the country for a long time, but now you have galvanized the Ukrainian community here in the state of Hawaii, and you've also managed to get a whole lot of other people concerned and interested in caring about Ukraine. How does the Ukrainian community maintain a sense of joy while facing such dire situations, knowing that their friends and family back home are suffering such atrocities?
Thank you for asking. That was for us very important, to unite people based on one big pain that we had experienced all together. And from the very first day the war started, we found actually it's very soothing for our soul to be among people who totally understand your pain. And luckily, we had girls that were able to share with us their talent. I believe everybody has talent, but at this time of actually this pain, this biggest talent show up. And through art and through this desire to be surrounded by art that kind of heal our soul, we were able to find the community among similar Ukrainian girls that their family or somebody, like Anna's husband was in military, other girls' brother or auntie or whoever was left in Ukraine, they were fighters. And by doing events here in Hawaii, we wanted to show them that we are thinking about them every week religiously. You know, on Friday, we stand by Capitol in Honolulu. And on Sunday, we get together at Alamana Park. And by doing art event, you would think, you know, we transfer the joy, and that joy transfer for them into hope, that people do remember, they bring awareness, they gather the money, they send them the money, and they send them love together with that money. And I felt that was very, very important. So this is how I know. We had girls, their parents got lost in Mariupol. And after like 4 weeks, they were able to get hold of the parents, get them out of Mariupol, and then they managed to come here to Hawaii. Luckily, thanks God, we were like able to meet the parents personally. And they were filming our event. You would think such a colorful and beautiful event in the park. So they sent those videos back to Mariupol, which is the worstest place you could, you know, just imagine. And people were feeling like connection to life and connection to hope. And they would tell me thank you, because sometimes when we were doing all this event, it's like almost you feel guilty. Why are you all of a sudden project all this happiness? And people would explain me back to me. They will explain me why. Because that happiness and that, you know, like desire to live and live for them, you know, for them, to see this joy. It gives them hope that this joy will come to their backyard again.
Yes, I've seen the beautiful, colorful, traditional dresses of Ukraine, and all of the women in Ukraine are beautiful. I don't care if they're 9,000 years old. You guys have beautiful women. I don't know what you feed your children to do this, but it's quite impressive. And so I think we should convey the joy that art and music brings. And Anna, what Ukrainian song can I play for you that will bring you hope and joy today?
Yes, please. I think for me, it's a song of Ukrainian singer Nastya Kamenskih, and the song is I'm Ukraine. So this song was, I think, about a few weeks after war begins, and it's about that every one of us is Ukraine, and Ukraine is in the heart of every one of us. And we're going to be recovered. We're going to be blooming again. We're going to smile again. Everything will be fine. All the wounds will be recovered, you know. Everything will be perfect, but we need a time for that. So that's the song that actually gives me hope and even a joy, thinking that Ukraine will be blooming again. Ukraine will smile again. So I want you to play this song, please.
I am so happy to play it, everyone. Let's listen to Nastya Kamenskih singing I Am Ukraine, and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Загояться всі рани, розчиниться вся кров. Колись мене побачиш ти квітучою і знов. Я подарую чисте небо, і прийде весна. Колись, коли закінчиться війна. Тому що я Україна, я витримаю біль, я захищу тебе від куль, що мене цілять звідусіль. Тому що я сильна, я подолаю все, бо ти мене в своїх руках несеш. Ви голови поклавши, відправились у сни. Колись назвуть героями вас, ви мої сини. І зацвіте калина, мов кров червонима. Згадає батьківщина, яким ти був козак. Вірю, з тобою я в наші сили, свобода в серці як крила, і мир повернеться знов. Знаю, з тобою я все подолаю, завжди добро перемагає і переможе любов, тому що я Україна, я витримаю біль, я захищу тебе від куль, що мене цілять звідусіль, тому що я сильна, я подолаю все, бо ти мене в своїх руках несеш. Наші ангели нас захищають від навали і тьми ворогів. Мої крила тебе обіймають, мої руки в крові чужаків. Вони ніж нам встромили у спину, увірвавшись нахабно вночі. Але стали ми за Україну, єдині схрестивши у битві мечі. Відбудуємо все, повернуться, із далеких країв всі птахи. Очі твої мені посміхнуться, засміються ще знов дітлахи. Сильна нація, вільна, єдина, мирне небо, щасливе життя. Ми є всі твої, ми родина, і нехай буде так, буде так.
This is Barbara Nussbaum in Cape Town, South Africa. I love Woman Radio. I listen as often as I can. The music is wonderful and the guests are absolutely inspiring. I hope you're listening too.
Mna ndingukhwezi futhi ucenenda and ndithanda ukumamela iWoman Radio ndizokufunda izinto ezintsha ndive nomculo omnandi. Iinkqubo zabo zimnandi kwaye zisebenzisa ingqondo. Ukusukela On the Couch to Womanosity, hlala kukho into emnandi yokumamela nemfundiso entsha. Ndithanda kakhulu ukuba ngummameli. Ndiyavuya ukuba nawe umamele.
Ich bin Leila Tavanaro Hedarian aus Wien und höre Woman Radio. Ich lerne so viel Interessantes von den Radiomoderatorinnen und liebe die Musik. Ich freue mich, dass ihr auch Woman Radio hört.
Womanosity is like a good cup of coffee with a new friend, somebody I'd never have a chance to meet. Sometimes it's a new idea or thinking about an old one in a new way. It's girlfriends, it's Tadia, and it's all good. This is American artist, writer, and girlfriend Jenny Cooley in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Tadia Rice with Womanosity for Women with Curiosity on Woman Radio, broadcasting 24/7 around the beautiful globe. And today, my very special guests are Elena Roud and Anna Baryshnykova. One is a Ukrainian American, the other is a Ukrainian refugee. They both live in Hawaii and they are in the studio with me today. And I'm so happy to have them here. Now, the interesting thing, we've talked about the war and, the heinousness of it and why it really must be avoided. And now we're going to talk about these two women who are professional businesswomen, a lawyer, psychologist, and a real estate broker, all of these amazing talents and skills that these women have achieved in their professional lives. So I'm going to ask you both, and I'll start with Elena first. How do you keep motivated and committed to the high standards of your services, regardless of what's happening around you? So Elena, you answer first, and then Anna, you.
One of the biggest possession in my character, I think, it comes with the stability. I live in Hawaii for 30 years. I'm married for 35 years, so I have this stability in my character, and actually it helps in the business too. So when they come to the business with you, they know they will find you. Now you will be still there doing the same type of work, preferably still be in real estate, and will be doing it even better. When you first introduce the business, everybody's usually very excited and nervous, and then you don't want it gets stigmatized on you. And the joy and love for people and something that you want to build relationship, I think that helped me in my business. So when you build in relationship, you're not doing it at transactional real estate. So that's divorces. It plays big role when you build in relationship, and the most important for you is to build the kind of relationship that you value your not only first transaction, then you years of friendship with these people, and hopefully as the result you will get more business from them in return.
Excellent advice. Thank you so much, Anna. How about you? Now, you're a lawyer who can't even practice in your own home country, but you have become a psychologist. You train other lawyers. How do you keep motivated and committed to your high standards?
Now it's very difficult question for me, because like for all 2 months, I was like a dead fish. I can do nothing. I was too much involved in what's happening. I need this time, to calm down, to like think different, to support my people, to support my husband. I'm talking to him twice a day because we have such a big time difference. It's 13 hours time difference between Ukraine and Hawaii. So for me, the most motivator, the power that, push me somewhere, that's my husband and my son, that's my family, my mom, my sister, my dad, my friends, of course. And I just started, working again, coming back to my work, because it was really very painful, and I was suffering of what's happening. When you read all this news, it's really very, very painful for you. And what I'm trying to do here, thanks to Elena, that she organized this Hawaii Stands with Ukraine group, and she's, like trying to keep together all the Ukrainians, and trying to involve American people and people who lives here to stand with Ukraine and to help Ukraine smile again, to fundraising this money and sending to Ukraine to stay connected. We all together, we know that every Sunday and every Friday we can meet, we can talk, we spend time together. Like we had few holidays, like 1st of May and Easter time. So we spend it together with our Ukrainian people and some American people as well. And it was really very fun and joyful. And these things actually motivates me and gives me energy, gives me power, and help me to go toward, to not to stay here just yet, to move somewhere else, to go forward, not to stop, not to quit everything I'm doing.
That's motivating to me, that's for sure, because you're both very driven women. You're also grounded, you're focused, and you're determined. And I just wasn't sure what it was that drove either of you, but you're very strong women. Did your mothers or grandmothers teach you that? Did you have a particular model of inspiration, a hero, a shiro?
Such an interesting question. Now I'm reading the book of Nassim Taleb, Anti-Fragile, and I love the metaphoric, symbol that he's describing. How should you become in a time of turbulence? And I think it will be very interesting for all your listeners, because now we should be not a phoenix. The phoenix, the bird. If you kill this bird, she just, stay alive again the next day, because it's not actually what he's writing about in this book. The most important is to become Hydra, because if somebody cut one of your head, then you will get two. So it's about you becoming the better version of yourself every single day. And all the obstacles that you can get on the path of your life are making you stronger, better, taller and smarter, and etc.
Wow, I like it. I like it.
What about you, Elena?
In my family, my grandma, both grandma, I think they've been quite strong women, and no position in my culture, in my family, woman always worked. It wasn't like a housewife. It wasn't just a mom. So the position of the woman was a kind of breadwinner. It was quite a leading role in that the community. I had two grandmas like that. I was always like to be busy and try to develop myself. As a result, my two daughters, very strong, independent women and very strong standing on their feet. One of my key phrases from the time I came to America, it was the key to success is self-discipline. And it was very important phrase to me. And the second important, it was, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And to me, always solution from any crisis, and life full of crisis, your reasoning and your inspiration was joy. That's what actually plays the very important part in that success formula. And that's when we get into this balance. It's very important that woman knows how to do both. A little bit of pain, a little bit of suffering, and that's how you build in your body if you're a bodybuilder, right? So that's how you can actually build your emotional strengths if also you in times of uncertainty. See, you look at it from the different angle. And I like to be philosophical about many aspects of people's life, because that's how it's actually help you to develop your pain into gain.
Oh, very good. See, that's why you've been a successful mentor to others. Anna, what do you hope to do for women by being a successful mentor, by being an example to others of how you've handled this very, very serious trauma and injury to your nation?
I think too, the most important thing is to know your identity, who you are, how you are, finding yourself in this world. Are you nasty or you kind? Are you emotional or you quiet? Like all these things just help you to take the right path in your life when you know who you really are. That's the first one. And the second one is to find your internal support, to have a friendship with your inner child, to make you feel happy, to make you see the beauty of this world, just to see a beautiful butterfly, or to hear nice birds singing, or to smell beautifully amazing, flower scent. Like all these things actually could make you happy, and it's free. So when you know who you are and where you go, it's like in Alice in Wonderland, yeah? When you know where you go, you can get where you want. But if you don't know where you go and who you are, doesn't matter where you go. Anyway, you will go somewhere, somehow. And your internal support. When you support yourself, when you give yourself everything you need, you will be satisfied with everything you have. Doesn't matter what you have now, at this moment, you have your life. And that's the key of successful life. You have a choice to do or not to do, to take a decision or not to take a decision, and sitting in your comfort zone, or go beyond the comfort zone and try to plant yourself as a seed, to make yourself grow in a better way, to become again a better version of yourself.
Oh, thank you, Anna. That was beautiful. Boy, what such words of wisdom from two remarkable women. We are going to be right back with more from these two special, powerful Ukrainian women. Oh my goodness, don't go away, folks. We'll be right back. This is Tadia Rice.
No man is an island. Ladies, let's open up and discuss issues, whether good or bad. Platforms are there. Woman Radio happens to be just one of them. I'm inviting you on the couch to further discuss areas of concern every Thursday from 10 a.m. South African time to 12 noon. On the Couch with me, Yvonne Chaka Chaka. Here on Woman Radio, well-organized men, for we are.
Meet me at the party on the couch.
Hi, I am Dr. Sia. Please catch me every Monday at 7 o'clock in the evening on Woman Radio, where I will be talking about breaking free from trauma, from everything that is holding you back from becoming the best version of yourself. Woman Radio, well-organized man, for we are.
Ni hao, I'm Steve Bergadine from China. You're listening to Woman Radio for well-organized men. I'm listening to.
Hi, everyone. This is Shireen Janti, Senior Director at Music Cares of the Recording Academy, otherwise known as the Grammys. I love this radio station. I love this talk. Woman Radio helps give women the voice they need, and I thank them for supporting women. I'm listening to Woman Radio, and I hope you are too.
Welcome back, everyone, to Womanosity for Women with Curiosity on Woman Radio, broadcasting 24 hours around the beautiful place we call Earth. And you're with me, Tadia Rice, and I'm so happy you're here, and I am so happy that I have two extremely special guests. One is Elena Roud, who is a realtor in the state of Hawaii in the Pacific Ocean, and the other is a new refugee to be welcomed to the state of Hawaii, and Anna Baryshnykova. I'm so happy you're here. You know what I'd like to ask you both? How do you describe the way you walk in the world? Who wants to answer that first?
I would say light and bright.
Oh, Anna, you do. You walk in the world light and bright. I love that. And you, Elena, how do you walk in the world?
Smiley.
Smiling?
When I put smile, I sincerely raise my vibration.
Oh, very good. Those are wonderful ways to walk in the world. So now, Elena, I'm going to ask you, because you are the elder here, what would you tell your younger self about love, life, and purpose?
That it's all about patience and time and effort you put into handling any situation. Wow. That's love. Love, yeah. It's all about patience.
Yeah, that's
no matter what.
Cool. Anna, what would you tell your younger self? You're still young.
I would say, take all the possibilities that you have. Don't say no to the life. Say yes.
I so agree. That's what I tell everybody too. Always say yes, because you never know what opportunity might be open to you. So let me ask you, Anna, what's your biggest achievement to date?
I think it's my relationship with my husband and my son. And of course, that's what I've done now that I moved from Ukraine, running away from the war. It was really very hard decision, but I made it. And I'm here saving, my life and life of my son here. I think that's actually something that I achieve. I wouldn't do that without, support of my family.
Well, I certainly agree. That is a major achievement to save the life of yourself and your son, and pray that all of your family and friends, for both of you, remain safe and that this stupid war stops as soon as possible. Oh, Elena, Anna, do you hear that?
What is that? What is that?
Do you hear that, Elena?
Yes, what is that?
Well, it's the theme music for the Womanosity 25 questions in 2-minute speed round.
Wow!
What challenge? Let's do it.
Can't wait.
So now we're going to have some fun. Now, do you think you can answer these 25 questions that I'm going to shoot at you at bullet speed?
We'll try. We'll do our best.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. First question. Oh, the clock is ticking. We got to go. Okay. What color or flavor is your favorite M&M or candy?
Blue and yellow now. because it's flag of Ukraine. Colors of Ukraine.
Oh, that's wonderful. Are you a cat or a dog person, Elena?
I'm a cat person.
Okay. Anna, what's one city you've always dreamed of traveling to?
Tokyo.
Ooh, Elena, would you rather eat chocolate or watch your favorite TV show?
I watch TV show.
Okay, both of you, are you morning or night people?
Definitely morning.
But I was night before I moved to Hawaii. Actually, I moved to Hawaii and I become morning people. Morning person.
What words do you live by, Elena?
Happy ever after.
Love it. Anna, what's one vice you wish you could give up?
Eating chocolate too much.
Oh my. Okay, what's the best compliment you've ever received? Who wants to answer that? Clock is ticking.
I like to get compliments for my daughter. Obviously, I love my daughter. So whenever people compliment on their accomplishment, it's very close to my heart.
Okay, so how do you start your day, Anna?
I usually start my day now when I live here in Hawaii talking to my husband.
Good.
And talking to my parents.
Oh, yes, wonderful. Okay, when are you most inspired?
When I'm listening to good music, I get a good inspiration from music.
How about you, Anna?
People inspire me very much after I have some conversations.
Okay, ladies, food, sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Okay, what makes you smile the most, Elena?
I like making flower crowns. So whenever people enjoy it, it makes me very happy.
All right, for both of you, heels, flats, or sneakers?
Flats.
Barefoot. Flats.
I'm with you there. What's inspiring you in life right now, Anna?
My husband.
How would you define yourself in 3 words?
Loyalty, stability, determination.
Oh, lovely. All right, ladies, both of you, diamonds or pearls?
Fell in love with pearls.
Pearls, I would say.
What's something you notice about someone when you first meet them?
And smile.
Eye contact.
Okay. What's one talent you wish you had?
I would love if I would be able to sing.
To know what is somebody's mind.
Oh, a mind reader.
To read somebody's.
Okay, ladies, what are your favorite colors?
Mine is turquoise.
White.
What's the cutest thing on planet Earth?
My granddaughter, for sure.
Kitties.
Okay, and what's the best thing that's happened to you this year, ladies?
The best thing, we're still alive.
And Ukraine is still independent country.
Yeah.
And victory is in the future. So that's going to be the best thing in 2022.
Yes, I agree with you. And I certainly pray for the safety and the victory of Ukraine, that people can live in peace once again throughout the entire world, not just one region or two, but everywhere. Oh my gosh, you know what I'd like to play the Ukrainian national anthem for you ladies in honor of you, in honor of your birthplace and the nation that you love. In honor of my 2 very special guests, Elena Roud and Anna Baryshnykova, I will play the Ukrainian national anthem for you, ladies, and I want to thank you both so very much for being with me today to talk about this very, very tragic war, a horrible circumstance, and how the 2 of you are so directly affected and how you're handling it and what the people of Ukraine need. Thank you for being with me and sharing your stories.
And we're very
grateful. Thank you for having us.
For you. For this initiative and that you have us here. Thank you so very much for helping us to show the world, to open the eyes and tell them what's happening in Ukraine now. Thank you so much for your support and for your warm words and for having us here.
You are so welcome. Anytime, ladies, I may call on you again, depending on what the news might end up being. Maybe we'll be celebrating again.
I would love to.
Me too.
Ні слава, ні воля, ще нам, браття українці, усміхнеться доля. Згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці, запануєм ми, браття, у своїй стороні.
Thank you for being with me today on Womanosity for Women with Curiosity, broadcasting globally on Woman Radio. Enjoy great interviews with remarkable women and music from around the world. Join me, won't you?